Hi, moms. Good afternoon. And sorry, I think that we are starting a bit late, but very well. Good afternoon, all of you. And thanks a lot to BabyChakra for giving me this opportunity to get in touch with such lovely moms on a lovely afternoon. First of all, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Meeta Shetty, and I am a part of the Tata Mutual Fund investment team. I am a CFA charter holder by qualification, and I have been into investment and the equity markets for almost around 14 years now. When Baby Chakra reached out to me, they told me that there are so many lovely moms on this group, and they are so eager to know about investments, to know about equity markets, and to see what all are the avenues for investments. I myself, being a mom to a lovely daughter, definitely had to latch on to this opportunity, and it really makes a lot of it gives me immense pleasure to reach out to you moms and share my thoughts on the investing side, on the equity side particularly. So before we actually dive into the equity part of the investments, let's just start with some very basic, thoughts that I have, and I would like to share to all of you. So when even I was, young, and thankfully, because I am a part of the equity and the finance markets now, I have a fair bit of understanding versus someone who would not be associated with this industry, or someone who has never invested into the these avenues of investing. Initially, when I was completely unaware, and I was just stepping into my career zone, there were a lot of questions into my mind, and I can totally understand that there will be a lot of basic questions into your mind as well. So let's start with very basic as to why do we need to invest. That's a question that a lot of us keep juggling with it. Is it even required, or is it just that any other product that comes to market and everybody just wants to run and sell it to you? Is it like that a lot of people are chasing you for investments? So let's understand. So even these basic things, how I understood and how now I try to inculcate that into my daughter, and I try to explain her also. So very basic examples would be that, suppose in when you were young, you were a 5-year old, or a 6-year old, or somewhere around that, and when you would go to your grandfather, grandmothers, and you will ask for some pennies, like say a 10 rupee or a 20 rupee amount, and they will have stories to tell you that, oh my god, you're asking for 10 bucks, you're asking for 20 bucks. And when we were young, we were in college, and we were running the house, and when we were in our mid 20s or 20s, 20 rupees held a lot of value. So we could run the house. Our entire month expenses would be roughly about 20 or 25 bucks. Similarly, years passed, and then when we go to our parents, then supposedly when you were in a higher school or a college, and when you would go and ask for say a 200 rupee amount, and at that point of time, our parents, in fact I have faced this myself, my dad would be giving me stories that 200 rupees is a very big sum of amount. And when he was in his teens, 200 had a lot of value, and that 200 rupee would fetch him maybe a supplies of a month of whatever needs he had. And I was just splurging 200 rupees on a single coffee, or a meal, so definitely now today, when our kids, if your kids are into a age of teens or early teens, or say 10 plus, and when they come and ask you 2000 bucks, even that hits you hard, because then you realize that, oh god, 2000 bucks then for a school project, or just for some maybe a clothing, aware. I mean, kids' clothes are definitely very expensive than our clothing as well. So then that 2000 rupee definitely is a very big amount for us, because when we were young, we associated that with a very big sum, and we could buy a lot of stuff. So the basics of investment starts there. So all have to realize, and I also try to make my daughter realize that what was 20 rupees, say about 50 years back, or say 60 years back, today it stands at about 2000. very ballpark rough estimates, and that 20 rupees eventually became 2200 about 25 years back, and that's how it's reached to that 2000 number now. So why has that happened? Clearly inflation, because that is where I'm sure many of you women know what inflation is, but for just some basic understanding for someone who may not relate to this, inflation is just this. So what was costing you, say, a 2 rupees or a 20 rupees 60 years back, today is costing you somewhere around 2000 bucks. And that is the reason why investments comes into this picture. Because supposedly you had taken some money from, whatever, if you got some gifts or if you earned that amount, say 50 years back, your granny invested, or say just took out some money from his husband's whatever kitty, and she just kept it into a locker completely locked, and she just kept on passing that money but not investing it, just passing that amount to your mother, and then your mother gave it to you. That amount would have lost its value completely. But had the same amount been invested into whatever percentage amount return that would have given, it would have grown. So not investing definitely means that your money is losing value. So that's the very basic of why investment is required. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of us working women think that, since we are financially independent, we have a lot of independence on the finances that we have. But trust me, in India, 23% of the workforce today is women, and not even 5 or 6% of them have the knowledge, or have the courage to go and invest that money themselves. They must be spending, definitely. I mean, we all spend on ourselves, but when it comes to say investing, I don't think that we do that. Most of us depend on our husbands or our fathers, or someone who would take that decision on our behalf. So I think that we should encourage ourselves, that we should encourage ourselves, we should educate ourselves on what are these avenues of investments. And I clearly think that we Indian women are far, far good when it comes to the three, or at least the two steps of investing. Okay, so what are those? First step is planning. For anything that we do, forget investing. Even if we want to travel, we will plan it well, right? We will plan where to go, what are the places to be seen. Similarly, for investing also, the first step is definitely planning. Second step is savings. Now, the third step is obviously investing, but let me talk about the first two steps. If you look at Indian women, take our generations back, take your grandmoms, or take your the elders in the family. We all would have seen as children that these women had this habit of taking some money and then investing it, or saving it somewhere. So whatever the husband would give for expense, if they are not working or independent themselves, these women will take some money out of whatever they are spending on, and they start keeping it in the drawer. That little bit of amount, month on month or day by day, will keep growing. So I think that we Indian women are fantastic when it comes to planning and when it comes to saving, because you will plan the expense, you will think what is required, what is not required, and then we will go to the second step of saving. We all have seen that. You would have seen your moms doing that, you would have seen your grandmoms doing that, your aunts doing that. We ourselves do that many a times. If husband has given us some x amount for the spend, or if we are spending ourselves and we are earning ourselves, we will take some amount and we just push it off in the somewhere in the drawer, and we let that get accumulated over month, year over year. Sometimes I have seen, especially when demonetization happened, a lot of these women had to come out and then confess to their husbands that so much amount is there and I was saving over all these years. We saw a lot of those stories getting flashed on between family discussions, or sometimes even medias. So I think that between the three steps of investing, which is planning, saving, we are super good as Indian women. We just have to go one step higher, and we have to make ourselves adopted, educated to the concept of investing. So let's start with what exactly is investing. So in investing, we definitely have a lot of avenues. So the first avenue is that you just do a plain FD. So that's very, very very basic. We all must be definitely doing that now after demonetization, because we all have become more savvy to the internet, and the worry of keeping a lot of cash in hand is now a little higher. So we all have started having FDs if we were not having it in the past. I'm sure working women or salaried employee definitely has that concept, because that every month salary gets credited into the bank, and some amount is always lying into the bank. And a lot of companies or banks now offer you that deposit option of, savings account. Some amount will be as a moving recurring kind of number, which will fetch you whatever 5% or a 6% return. So that's the very basic kind of first level, is the FDs or the recurring deposits. Second is obviously our fixed income. So in fixed income also you have multiple varieties. You have liquid funds, which are very closer to what your savings account would give you in terms of the FD returns. But the easy part is that you can pull in, pull out at a very liquid. It's very liquid, so it's like you're holding cash, but it's getting some returns for you. Then you would have your short term bonds and your other credit bonds, credit funds, which is again, on the fixed income side. Then your equity is the at the higher end of it. So first is the FD, then your fixed income, and then will be your equity side. So on the equity side, I like to talk more because this is the horizon where I belong to, and I have been doing equity research for a very large number of years. Of my experience goes into this, and even today my job is to just analyze equities. So, what exactly is equity investments? For a very layman, I would say that, in very, very, very layman terms, I would say that equity investment meaning that supposedly, for example, you have a colleague or a friend or a family who wants to start a company, and you think that whatever that business she wants to start, maybe an export of some very valuable things in India, or someone that she's making herself and she wants to make it on a bigger scale and she wants to open a proper full-fledged company. If you think that it's going to do very well, then you will lend some money to her and you will say that make me a partner or give me some share into your company, and supposedly you become a 10% partner into your in that company. Exactly, that is what would be an equity investment. So you will become a partner in whatever profits they earn. Similarly, equity investments is very similar to that. Obviously, your the amount of percentage of the shareholder percentage you would end up being buying a share will be very minuscule, obviously, because these are very large companies which are listed on the exchanges. But on a very layman term, that is what an equity shareholder would mean. You will have a share in the company. That's why it's called a shareholder. So, individual share investing is obviously something that I would not advise at this point for someone who doesn't know about investing, because that will lead to a lot of research goes into it, and you have to understand the company balance sheets and the financials, and you have to constantly keep evaluating as to where the company is, how they're doing, and there are multiple research on a day-to-day basis which goes into this. So a better way to do an equity investment is definitely via a mutual fund, because here there are people who have decades of experience doing equity research. There are teams who are managing it, and there are multiple years of market volatility that they have seen, and they've understood the companies very well, because we keep meeting the companies, we keep visiting the plants, we keep visiting the ground level, whatever parameters of research we can let go to. So obviously, mutual fund makes a very good platform for anyone to do equity investments. Now, when you would go to any website, say if you come to Tata Mutual Fund, you would find multiple options of equity investment, and that can, we ourselves have about 26 or 27 odd equity mutual funds. So that can obviously, lead to some worry as to बहुत सारा है and where will we go? So, what is all this? So let me take you some bits into that. So first, when you go to any of these websites, including ours, you will find options like large cap, which is a very common mutual fund. Then you will find mid cap. Then you will find small cap. You'll also find sector funds like a pharma fund or a banking fund or a IT fund. So when it comes to the large cap, small cap, or a mid cap category, so what happens is that SEBI is the regulator for the equity investments, for the equity markets here in India. So SEBI has divided them into their sizes. So the larger size companies like an Infosys or a Reliance, they will all fall under the large cap categories. So they are very big in size and they are more stable companies. So they have good cash flows, or they make good money in terms of the profits. Most of them do. So they all fall into the large cap category. So there is a cutoff by the regulator. So around something like 25,000 crore plus is what the large cap category would be. So they are large cap, as in you can say that they are more stable companies in terms of their their day to day operations. They are the way they operate and the profits that they make. They are fairly stable. Then is the mid cap category, where they are not so large, but they are not even so small. So they are the companies who aspire to become big and they want to grow. And the growth is obviously something which is slightly more they want to grow faster, and the growth sometimes is more than what the large cap companies might be showing. So they are more aspirationally large cap companies, I would say. But obviously the risk is slightly more here, because with aspirations obviously comes risk in terms of how are they growing and are they taking too much of loans or to grow. So obviously that part, not that large cap companies don't have loan, but they are more stable because they are very big in size, and they can steer better versus a mid cap company. And the small cap category is for someone who is fairly small in terms of the size, and they are obviously wanting to become big over time. But then as you go from large to mid and to small, the risk on the equity investment is higher. So one thing is, one which is very very important, is that equity investments does come with a bit of risk. So there will be risk associated with that, and that is why you would see that all mutual fund ads will end with mutual fund investments are subject to market risk. And that is a very very important point to keep in mind when you are doing your equity investments, because yes, mutual funds, especially equities, will come with some risk. And what makes you still think, what makes me still think that equity investment is a good avenue, because there is obviously the kind of returns that we have seen in the past, and the kind of growth prospects these companies carry. There's definitely in the past we have seen that the returns have been fairly good. But one very important thing also to keep in mind, a part of the risk factor, is the horizon. So for equity investments, you have to have a longer horizon. Longer meaning anything beyond 5 years. The longer it is, the lower the risk becomes over time, because then the volatility is taken care of, because markets will be volatile. So on a day like this, when we am talking to you, we have seen equity markets freezing to a 10% circuit in the morning today itself, and now we are trading somewhere close to 5% higher. So that's a 15% kind of a move in a single day. So see, equity markets will definitely be volatile, but the longer the horizon, the risk will get mitigated with time. So don't look at equity investments if you are looking to invest in for a horizon of less than 5 years. I would not advise so. So please invest with the horizon of over 5 or to 10 years. So broadly, that is what I think is on the equity part of it. And how do we generally associate with risk and return, which I was mentioning, is that, so I'll just give you some context in terms of the numbers. Supposedly, take three examples. Okay, suppose you are starting to put some money every day. You decide that you want to save. Now you're not sure how you want to invest, but you surely want to save it. Suppose you start with saving 100 or say 1,000 rupees per month. You just take 1,000 out of your salary or whatever expenses, net of expenses, whatever the saving you're left with. You take that 1,000 rupees and then you shove it on your drawer. You just push it into one of the drawers every month, and month on month that money keeps getting accumulated. So let's take three examples. One example is that you're doing that every month, but you're not investing anywhere. You're just accumulating it in a drawer. uh, and at the end of 10th year, what would be the amount? If you have done 1,000 rupees every month, then that amount would be over 10 years would be about 1,20,000 rupees. That is what your drawer will be filled with, that amount of cash, okay, which is a zero return because you have not invested that money anywhere. Now let's take as example two. Suppose instead of keeping it in the drawer, you would have done an investment into a liquid fund or anywhere where you get 6% kind of a return. So if you're doing that, and if you've done that over 10 years, that 1,000 rupees which every month you kept on investing, that money at the end of 10th year, which was about 1,20,000 in the drawer, will be somewhere close to about 1,79,000 or 1,80,000 roughly. So you realize that 120 जो था वो almost 180 almost 180 हो गया in a 6% kind of a generating return idea. Could be a bank recurring deposit, or could be a liquid fund or something like that. Third is, suppose you did not do that and you went one step higher and you realize that मेरा तो long term horizon है अगर investment का, तो मैं equity investments में करती हूँ. And you went to an equity, or you went to any investment, say a hybrid or anything, which gave you 10.5% return. So supposedly you end up getting a 10.5% return. So at that point, जो आपका 120 था आपके ड्रॉअर में, वो ऑलमोस्ट 180 था आपके, अगर बैंक में अगर आप वो रखते हैं या लिक्विड फंड में या कहीं रखते हैं जहाँ पे आपको 6% रिटर्न मिला. वही चीज अगर आपको कोई 10.5% रिटर्न वाले एवेन्यू में आपने डाला, तो वो अमाउंट बढ़ के हो जाएगा 2,28,000 रुपीज. सो यू सी, जो एक 20 था वो एक 80, और एक 80 के बदले वो 230 हो सकता है. सो दीज आर द एवेन्यूज हाउ द मनी कैन ग्रो. अगर आप कुछ नहीं इन्वेस्ट करते तो वो वहीं रह जाता. एंड जैसे मैंने एग्जाम्पल में पहले बोला था कि मनी अपना वैल्यू लूज कर देगा, जो 20 रुपीज था वो 200 बन जाएगा, 200 2,000 बन जाएगा. सो 120 विल डेफिनेटली अपना वैल्यू लूज करेगा. जो चीज आप 10 साल पहले 1,20,000 में खरीद सक रहे थे, वो आप डेफिनेटली यू कांट बाय. नाउ सपोज हम लॉन्ग टर्म होराइजन की जो बात करते हैं, सो लेट्स डू वन मोर स्टेप. हमने पहले एग्जाम्पल लिया कि ABC 10 ईयर्स के लिए हमने 1,000 रुपीज हर बारी ड्रॉअर में डाले. अगर हमने वो और 10 साल तक कंटिन्यू किया, ओके, पहले हमने 10 ईयर्स सोचा था, बट अगर हम वो 20 साल के लिए करते हैं, तो वो 20 साल में आपके ड्रॉअर में हो जाएगा 2,40,000 रफली. आपने उसको कहीं पर भी इन्वेस्ट नहीं किया. लेकिन अगर आपने उसी 20 साल तक अगर आपने कोई 6% रिटर्न वाले इन्वेस्टमेंट में डाले हैं, तो वो अमाउंट हो जाएगा ऑलमोस्ट 4,70,000 के करीब, with a 6% kind of return. It could be any avenue, which gives you around 6% kind of return. और अगर आपने उसी चीज को instead of putting in a 6% return, you go to a little riskier asset, which can be risky, but which gives you ends up giving you 10.5% return, then that amount at the end of 20 year can look something like an 8 lakh rupees. So what is 240 जो शुरू में आपके ड्रॉअर में होगा 20 years के बाद, वो करीब अराउंड 470 हो जाता है 6% रिटर्न वाले एवेन्यू में, एंड ऑलमोस्ट 8 लाख हो जाता है अगर कोई ऐसी इन्वेस्टमेंट में आप डालते हो जहाँ पे आपको 10.5% रिटर्न मिलता है. सो यू सी, दिस इज वेयर इन्वेस्टिंग प्लेज अ वेरी वेरी बिग रोल. क्योंकि आपका सो वी कॉल इट पावर ऑफ कंपाउंडिंग. आइंस्टाइन ने उसको 8th वंडर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड बोला था. होता क्या है कि अगर आपने 1,000 रुपीज आज इन्वेस्ट किया है, अगर आपको वो रिटर्न बना के दे रहा है, अगर आपको वो 10% रिटर्न बना के दे रहा है, तो वो 1 साल के बाद 1,100 हो जाएगा, और फिर उस 1,100 के ऊपर आपको 10% मिलेगा, ना कि सिर्फ वो 1,000 के ऊपर. एंड अगेन दैट विल बी that will be what I think makes investing a very 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 interesting place, because आपका कंपाउंड होते जाता है रिटर्न. जो आपने एग्जिस्टिंग में शुरू में डाला, उसके ऊपर जो रिटर्न बनता है वो भी आपको रिटर्न बना के देगा. सो रिसेंटली मैंने एक वुमेन्स डे इवेंट पर एक पैनलिस्ट की तरह आई हैड गॉन, एंड मेरा एक बहुत ही की लाइन था, टेक अवे, विच वॉज दैट सिर्फ पैसे के लिए काम मत करिए, पैसे से भी अपने लिए काम करवाइए. सो डू नॉट ओनली वर्क फॉर मनी, बट मेक मनी work for you. So I think that broadly मैंने काफ़ी कुछ cover किया है in terms of investing and particularly equity investing. बहुत depth में मैं नहीं गई हूँ, but उसके लिए we obviously have we have a Google form here and you can reach out to me. I'll be very, very happy to take you to the details whichever you might want. जितना granular details मैं share कर सकती हूँ मैं ज़रूर करूँगी. So I'm not going into details here because I'm not sure कितने detail में कितने लोग relate कर पाएंगे, but I'm very happy to take your questions via the emails or you can also get in touch with BabyChakra and they can connect you to us. So please fill in the Google form obviously and that's a good platform for reaching out to me. I think I'll take a little bit of break here and I'll see there are a lot of questions I can see that I can see. So, okay, so fine. I'll take a few questions now. First one is Lisa Gogoi. So, hi Lisa, very good afternoon. So, your question is how should I plan for my retirement? I have 27 years of service left. So yeah, Lisa, this is great that you have a good amount of time left for as far as your service, number of years of service is concerned. So investing में the best part is कि आप start करें, जल्दी start करें. The earlier you start, तो जो हमने कंपाउंडिंग की बात करी वो कंपाउंडिंग बहुत ज़्यादा बेनिफिट देती है. जैसे हमने देखा था कि 10 years to 20 years में द अमाउंट रियली वेंट अप वेरी वेरी मच. अगर आप चाहे 6% वाले में डालिए या 10% वाले में डालिए. सो लीजा, कमिंग टू योर क्वेश्चन, your plan to retirement will completely depend on what you want. Okay, so if you plan to retire in 27 years, exactly आपको कितना amount उस time पर बैंक में चाहिएगा to ensure that आपकी complete financial independence हो और आप किसी पे भी dependent ना रहें. That is one. Then you will have to plan about जो आपके expenses lined up होंगे. There could be a marriage, there could be some kids expense, there could be anything in the family, your own kids, the future planning in terms of the education, in terms of their marriage, in terms of they want to move ahead and probably take a study course or something in the US or the UK. So everything will have an expense, and don't forget that there is an inflation which is going to play its own role. So वो हर चीज आपको I would suggest that whatever investments you do, ensure that आप mix रखिए. As far as क्या invest करना चाहिए, I think कि पहले आपको needs जो आपके goals हैं वो write down करने पड़ेंगे, and उसके हिसाब से ही आपको कोई advisor या फिर you can reach out to us at Tata Mutual Fund. We will help you to see how and what all avenues you can invest in. But ensure that आप जो भी इन्वेस्टमेंट करें एक मिक्स रहे और आपका व्यू और आपका जो होराइजन है वो आप लॉन्ग टर्म रखिए. आप बार बार चेंज मत करते रहिएगा आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट, क्योंकि उससे जो आपको कंपाउंडिंग बेनिफिट है वो काफी बार बहुत हैम्पर हो जाता है. तो कीप दैट अमाउंट वेरी वेरी फॉर अज्यूमिंग कि आपका 5-10 साल आप निकालने नहीं वाले हो तो ही आप इक्विटी मार्केट्स में डालिएगा. अदरवाइज इट कैन it will not give you the kind of returns that you would want. So reach out to us or any other financial advisor and we will be surely happy to help you, but ensure it's a mix. Okay, so I hope, Lisa, that was fine. You can ask more questions if you want. I'll move on to my second question, Sonam Patel. So hi, Sonam. Thank you so much for your question. I would like to know investment plans which can benefit women in long run. So yeah, I think all plans benefit women and men equally as far as the investment is done at the right time. Investment plans, when you say investment plans, how I understand is that कहाँ invest आप कर सकते हो, which investment plan. So as I said that आपके needs के हिसाब से planning होगी, but equity investment के लिए generally हम लोग advise करते हैं कि आप थोड़ा risky asset होता है तो long term रखिए, which I keep repeating because ये register करना बहुत बहुत ज़रूरी है कि equity investments long term के लिए ही होना चाहिए because उसमें काफ़ी volatility होती है. So depending on whatever your requirements are, या फिर अगर आपको बस थोड़ा अमाउंट हर बार ऐसे ही हर महीने सेव करना है तो आई वुड सजेस्ट दैट आप अगर इक्विटी को देख रहे हैं, इक्विटी इन्वेस्टमेंट और आपका होराइजन लॉन्ग है, आप अगर हर महीने कुछ थोड़ा करना चाहते हैं, देन प्लीज लुक एट सिस्टमैटिक इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान विच इज कॉल्ड एज सिप. सो सिप एक जरिया है जिससे आप म्यूचुअल फंड में हर महीने थोड़ा थोड़ा या इवन हर दिन थोड़ा थोड़ा इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकते हैं। वेरी स्मॉल अमाउंट्स का भी आप सिप कर सकते हो, जैसे 500 रुपए महीने के या 1000 रुपए, और इवन पर डे के हिसाब से आप उसको डिवाइड कर लो तो पर डे भी आप सिप कर सकते हो। एंड ये एक बहुत अच्छा जरिया है इवन फॉर लीजा आई वुड से, एंड सो सोनम एज वेल, दैट इन्वेस्टमेंट करते टाइम पे इक्विटी के लिए एसआईपी रखना बहुत जरूरी है। क्यों जरूरी है? क्योंकि वो हर महीने इन्वेस्ट होता है। सी, इक्विटी मार्केट में वोलेटिलिटी रहने वाली है। आज जो इंडेक्स या निफ्टी आपको अगर 10,000 का है तो हो सकता है कि कल वो 11 हो जाए, परसों वो वापस 10.5 हो जाए, परसों वो अगर कोई जैसे कोरोना वायरस की वजह से अभी जो चल रहा है हो सकता है कि 9,000 हो जाए। तो अगर आपने हर महीने थोड़ा थोड़ा लिया है तो ना आपने बहुत ऊपर में बहुत ले लिया, ना आपने बहुत नीचे में बहुत ले लिया, आपका हर महीने हर लेवल पे थोड़ा थोड़ा आ रहा है, तो आपका वो एवरेज है। सो यू आप वोलेटिलिटी से अपने आप को थोड़ा सा रिस्क अवर्स कर रहे हो। सो इक्विटी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स के लिए एसआईपी सबसे बढ़िया चीज है, बिकॉज इट विल गिव यू अ वेरी लॉन्ग horizon to invest and it will give you good returns also relatively. So I will take the next question, which is Lakshmi Mishra. So hi Lakshmi, good afternoon. Thank you for your question. What can be the best way to invest money? So again Lakshmi, same thing. Best way is that आप invest करें। कैसे करें उसके लिए आपको पहले किसी एडवाइजर या हमारे जैसे किसी टाटा म्यूचुअल फंड है, जैसे आप किसी ऐसे को रीच आउट करिए, वो आपको बताएंगे कि आपके नीड्स के हिसाब से आपके लिए बेस्ट क्या होगा। क्योंकि हम सबकी रिस्क अवर्सनेस अलग है, किसी को थोड़ा सा भी रिस्क नहीं लेना है, लेकिन कोई है जो थोड़े ज्यादा रिटर्न के लिए हल्का सा रिस्क लेना में कंफर्टेबल है, कोई है जो 5 साल से ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट नहीं करना चाहता है, बट कोई है जो 20 साल के लिए भी इन्वेस्ट करेगा। So please reach out, but do invest. That is the most important thing. I will take a question from Kumala Devi. So hi Kumala, thank you for your question. Equity funds are risk of own. So Kumala, I am not able to understand your question. Can you please rephrase it and ask me again? By then I will move to another one. So this is from Kaushalya. Hi Kaushalya, your question I'll just read out. I personally have an SIP where I marked it at 12% interest rate, as that was the highest available at that time. The amount I got back was just 10% higher. Why does such difference come from rate of return in an SIP if it is marked? So आई एम नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हेन यू से मार्क्ड, बिकॉज अगर इक्विटी इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो उसमें कोई रिटर्न जनरली फ्रीज नहीं किया हुआ होता है। सो आई हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट। बट एक चीज और भी हो सकती है यहाँ पर कि कॉस्ट, बिकॉज काफी बार जो 12% अगर किसी ने आपको मार्क करके बोला है तो उसमें शायद कॉस्ट इंक्लूडेड नहीं होगा। सो कॉस्ट कैन बी वन ऑफ द रीजंस, बट स्पेसिफिकली आई एम नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड, बिकॉज इक्विटी में जनरली कोई रिटर्न कमिटेड नहीं होता है। हाँ, बट अगर पास्ट में हमने देखा है तो अराउंड 11 to 12% रिटर्न 10 साल 20 साल में हमने देखा है, यहाँ नहीं बट यूएस में भी कि वैसे रिटर्न्स मिले हैं। बट मे बी द कॉस्ट कुड बी वन ऑफ द रीजंस फॉर कौशल्या's investment. Okay, so Kamala Devi's question is back again. So thanks Kamala for rephrasing. For working women's mutual fund SIP will give benefits, maturity period for those. So कोमाला, जब आप बोलते हैं मेच्योरिटी, सो SIP में म्यूचुअल फंड में इक्विटी इन्वेस्टमेंट में जनरली मेच्योरिटी नहीं होती है, बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द फंड्स आर ओपन एंडेड। मेच्योरिटी तब आती है जब आप कोई क्लोज एंडेड फंड में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं। सो क्लोज एंडेड फंड्स वो होते हैं कि आपने आज इन्वेस्ट किया और आप 3 साल या 5 साल, डिपेंडिंग ऑन जो पहले से उसमें डिसाइडेड होता है, प्री डिसाइडेड टाइम फ्रेम, तभी ही आप उसमें से एग्जिट कर सकते हो। बट मोस्ट म्यूचुअल फंड्स आर ओपन एंडेड स्कीम, आप कभी भी उसको शुरू कर सकते हो और कभी भी उसमें से एग्जिट भी ले सकते हैं। सो यस, SIP is a very good way, and there is no maturity as such in the open-ended funds. Okay, so I have question from Ragini now. So hi Ragini, thank you for your question. Which investments get lucrative returns? So investments in the past, equity investments have given better returns over other avenues. But again, as I said, mutual fund investments are subject to market risk. But equity investment में in the past हमने देखा है कि returns मिलते हैं, and I would still say the longer horizon is always good. to make better returns from the equity. I'll move to my next one now. So it's from Veena. Hi, Veena. Good afternoon. Is this the right time to invest, or should we wait as the market is crashed currently because of coronavirus? Yes, Veena. So market has crashed. In fact, it did touch 10% lower circuit today in the morning, and in the last just about a week or 10 days, we have seen as much as 20% plus kind of correction. So yes, markets have crashed. But अगर आपका horizon 5 to 10 years का है, I don't think that there should be any issue to invest at this price or these levels. I think longer horizons will nullify all these risk. Yeah, hi Ragini. So Ragini's question is, seeing the status of Yes Bank, where should our savings be in? So I know that it's a very unfortunate event which has happened in a country like India, where a decent sized bank has put a moratorium. So I would just say that the RBI and the regulators are doing whatever in the best interest they can do. As far as we as concerned, जैसे मैं और आप अगर सेविंग्स में कहाँ पैसे रख सकते हैं आफ्टर येस बैंक, ऑब्वियसली ये क्वेश्चन बहुत ही लॉजिकल है किसी के भी दिमाग में आना. आई थिंक दैट डाइवर्सिटी इज बेस्ट. 2-3 बैंक्स में रखिए एंड लार्जर वंस ऑब्वियसली विल बी मोर सेफ. एटलीस्ट दैट इज व्हाट आई कैन ऐड टू दिस क्वेश्चन. So I'll take question from Durga now. Hi Durga, good afternoon. Okay, so वुमेन्स जो हाउसवाइफ हैं वो मनी सेविंग किस तरह से कर सकती हैं? सो आई नो दुर्गा, बिकॉज जो वर्किंग वुमेन है उनके तो हर महीने बैंक में सैलरी आ जाता है. बट आई सेड इन द स्टार्ट, अगर आप थे तभी लाइव चैट पर, कि इंडियन वुमेन में बहुत स्किल है एज फार एज द सेविंग इज कंसर्न. मैंने अपने घर पे अपनी मम्मी को देखा है जो अर्निंग मेंबर नहीं थी, बट हर महीने वो थोड़े पैसे फिर भी सेव कर लेती थी. सो आई थिंक दैट हमारे स्किल्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्लानिंग एंड सेविंग बहुत है. आप हर महीने छोटा अमाउंट भी अगर सेव कर पाते हैं तो उसको कहीं ना कहीं इन्वेस्ट जरूर कीजिए. बट आई थिंक सेविंग करना बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि आज जो हमारे एज है, हम यंग हैं, हम अर्न कर पा रहे हैं, लेकिन आज से 20 साल 30 साल 40 साल के बाद हम अर्न नहीं कर पाएंगे. तो हमारे नीड्स हमें ही पूरे करने पड़ेंगे. इफ यू डोंट वांट टू बी डिपेंडेंट ऑन आवर किड्स, इट्स बेटर टू ऑलवेज हैव दैट इंडिपेंडेंस कि हमारे खुद के खर्चे हम खुद निकाल पाएं. सो उसके लिए आज सेव करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. अगर अर्निंग मेंबर नहीं है तो फ्रॉम योर डेली एक्सपेंस वॉट एवर यू कैन सेव, प्लीज ट्राई टू सेव वॉट एवर यू कैन. आई एम श्योर सम बिट ऑफ इट वुड बी पॉसिबल, एंड थोड़ा ही सही बट ज़रूर सेव और इन्वेस्ट करिए. Ragini's question now again. So yeah, is FD better than buying gold? So Ragini, I think that आप दोनों को कंपेयर करना मेरे लिए थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट है, क्योंकि FD इज वेरी डिफरेंट. इट्स अ बैंक लेड, एंड देन देर इज गोल्ड विच इज अ काइंड ऑफ अ कमोडिटी. एंड वो एक अलग इकोनॉमिक रीजंस की वजह से भी मूवमेंट्स होते हैं उसमें बहुत सारे. सो यू कांट कंपेयर देम. I think they're very different in terms of investment avenues. So I'll move on to my next question. Kavita Sahani. Kavita, hi, good afternoon. I would also like to know post-retirement plans. So good question, Kavita. So post-retirement plans definitely give you a lot of comfort, because you are planning for 20 or 15 or 30 years from hence. So there are a lot of funds which are focused on retirement, and वो investments भी वैसे करते हैं उस हिसाब से. So please get in touch with your advisor, and there will be a lot of retirement plans. Retirement mutual funds भी हैं बहुत सारे. हमारे पास खुद के पास retirement funds हैं. So that those all funds can come to a good help as far as जब आप ढूंढ रहे हैं some investment retirements के लिए. So okay, so we'll just take last few questions now, and I would still remind you again that आप प्लीज जो गूगल फॉर्म है वो ज़रूर फिल करिए. एंड अगर किसी के क्वेश्चंस अनआंसर्स रह जाते हैं, अगर टाइम नहीं परमिट करता है कि मैं सबके ले पाऊँ, तो प्लीज़ मुझे मेल करिए या रीच आउट टू बेबी चक्र ऑल्सो. दे विल कनेक्ट टू मी and I'll be happy to take your questions. So let's move to last few questions. Kaushalya. Okay, so hi Kaushalya, good afternoon. Also, while saving tax, something with guaranteed returns. So, Kaushalya, guaranteed return के लिए तो I think बैंक एफडी से ज़्यादा कुछ अच्छा नहीं होगा, या फिर गवर्नमेंट जीसेक 10-year बॉन्ड से ज़्यादा कुछ अच्छा नहीं होगा. बट अगर आप इक्विटी में या फिर आ रहे हैं तो थोड़ा रिस्क रहेगा. टैक्स सेविंग के लिए देर आर टैक्स सेविंग फंड्स जो आपको टैक्स सेविंग के लिए हेल्प करते हैं, जो एटीसीसी के अंडर आते हैं. तो आप वो देख सकते हैं, ईएलएसएस जिसको हम बोलते हैं, तो आप वो देख सकते हैं. बट अगेन गारंटीड रिटर्न्स विल बी नॉट इनटू इक्विटीज. इट्स बेटर दैट यू आप वैसे वाले इन्वेस्टमेंट्स देखिए जहाँ पे आपको रिस्क बिल्कुल नहीं है और आपके रिटर्न्स जो 5-6% की अगर रेंज में होंगे तो वो होंगे. बट दैट ऑल्सो इज अ वेरी गुड ऑप्शन. जहाँ पे आपको रिस्क नहीं चाहिए वहाँ आपको ऐसे एवेन्यूज में ही रहना चाहिए. So, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to reach out to all the moms here. Being a mom myself, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि मैंने आप लोगों से बात करी एंड आप लोगों से चैट करने का इतना अच्छा मौका दिया बेबी चक्रा ने मुझे. So thank you बेबी चक्रा and thank you lovely moms. Have a very good day ahead and I'll wait for your questions in case some have got unanswered today. Thank you so much.